What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Division 2 build video. Now if you're a fan of the Dark Zone or just PvP in general, I've got a build for you. Now this build is utilizing the new exotic backpack, the Memento, which is quickly becoming meta. You're going to see it more and more being utilized in not just PvP builds, PvE as well, and it's because it has a really unique and strong talent. Now, while I would highly recommend this in the Dark Zone, I wouldn't quite so much recommend it in Skirmish. And again, it's because of its talent, which I'm going to go into a little bit more in depth later on in the video. Nonetheless, this backpack makes it very versatile to be incorporated in many different types of builds. Super fun to use. Before I go any further though, at the end of the video, don't forget, leave a comment or suggestion. If you find it useful, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new. In the meantime, I'll let you enjoy the rest of the gameplay.
Ahí vienen. Ya lo voy a meter.
Perfect.
En la zona oscura yo siempre ando mi build en pelear. Como dice Mitch aquí, no sé, uno no se confía.
Welcome back, guys. So let's get into the actual build breakdown, shall we? So we are using 4 pieces Hunter's Fury, 1 high-end on the chest, and of course the exotic Memento backpack. We're at 1.3 million armor and 285,000 health. Specialization that I use is the gunner, but of course you can use whichever one you prefer best. I like the gunner primarily for its medkit, which gives you bonus armor when you consume one. For my primary weapon, I switch between the Lady Death and the Vector. I like the Lady Death for its talent Breathe Free, which I think synergizes really well with this build. When moving, gain 4 stacks per second or 8 stacks if sprinting, up to 32 stacks total. Each round fired consumes a stack, amplifying damage by 75%. You also get plus 20% movement speed for 10 seconds. On the Vector, for its 1200 RPM, and it's what's going to help you shred through enemies' armor, especially guys with really high armor. I went with the talent Optimist. You can go with Measured as well if you want. I like Optimist because, again, we are stacking weapon damage in this build. So weapon damage increased by plus 3% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine. And for my sidearm, I use the Orbit, perfect finisher. If I'm able, on those rare occasions, to get a kill, even if it's from an NPC, using the Orbit, it grants you an additional 35% crit hit chance and 40% crit hit damage for 15 seconds. Moving on to the individual gear pieces on the mask. I rolled armor on it, and it came with crit hit damage and critical hit chance. On the chest, the talent that I recommend is Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds, stacks up to 25 times. Again, more weapon damage. You can see the pattern here. On the holster, I rolled armor, and it came with 11% critical hit damage. On the knees, 14.8% weapon damage, and I rolled 12% critical hit damage. On the gloves, 15% weapon damage, and I rolled plus 6% critical hit chance. Now, this being a crit hit build, once again, you're going to want to try and reach that 60% cap or as close to as possible, and then invest everything into critical hit damage. And lastly, the main attraction is the Memento exotic backpack. Now, what makes this backpack unique is primarily because it actually gives you all 3 core attributes. It comes with weapon damage, comes with armor, and a +1 skill tier, and an attribute for you to insert any mod of your choice. The talent, Kill Confirmed, reads as follows. Enemies you kill drop a trophy on death. Collecting trophies provides both a short and long-term buff, the first of which scales with the number of core attributes equipped and lasts for 10 seconds. So you can see a red core plus 5% weapon damage, a blue core plus 10% bonus armor, and a skill tier plus 5% skill efficiency. Now here's where it gets really interesting. For every trophy collected, you gain an additional plus 1% weapon damage, plus 1% skill efficiency, and plus 0.1% armor regeneration for 300 seconds, maximum 30 stacks. So 30 kills pretty much will fill up your stacks, amplifying your weapon damage by 30%. So you can see here we are dealing some crazy damage, guys. Now in case you're curious about these trophies upon death, let me show you quickly what it looks like. I just killed some NPCs a little earlier before I started the video, and basically every time you kill one, that's what the trophy will look like. All you got to do is simply just run over it, and you've consumed it. Remember, each one gives you an additional plus 1% weapon damage. And that is pretty much the build in itself, guys. As for my skills, you can choose whatever you want. I like to use the Stinger Hive for that status effect. And quite lately with this new patch, I've been using the Riot Foam a lot. Say what you want, but there's a lot of guys out there running around with 2 million armor, and on top of that, they still feel the need to pull out a shield. Well, there isn't that much to combat those type of scenarios. So I like to use the Riot Foam because what I find is it's a really good counter to all these high armor builds. And let's quickly go into my stats. We're at 49.2% crit chance and 116% critical hit damage with the Lady Death. With the Vector, we're at 51.2% critical hit chance and 111.8% critical hit damage. Let's see what else is worth mentioning. We're at 72.5% all weapon damage bonus, 40.4% submachine gun damage bonus. There's our armor. There's our armor on kill, our max health, and I believe that is pretty much it. It's a really fun build to use, guys. You are dealing a lot of weapon damage, and like I said, this isn't strictly for PvP only. You can certainly put a build together and use it in any PvE scenario, whether you're doing, you know, missions or control points. So give it a try. Let me know in the comments below how you run your build incorporating the Memento backpack. And like always, guys, appreciate all the support, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace out.